My name is Ankit from Allbiolect. So today I'll be talking on a subject which is very much a concern for nowadays microbiologists and even other fields, which is antimicrobial or rather microbial resistance to different drugs. So these are actually resistance. So this antimicrobial resistance is a major challenge nowadays in different industries like chemotherapy, industrial applications in food processing and everything, and also in infection control. So the basis of this kind of resistance is due to this thing, the drug efflux pumps. So these drug efflux pumps serve the very basic function of providing this ability by energy induced export of drug materials outside the cell, and also just in case there are both expelling of things and also intaking of substances using these efflux pumps, or rather pumps. But these pumps are nothing. What are these? These pumps are nothing but they are membrane transport proteins, and they can be selective or non-selective, or sometimes can be polyspecific when they can remove related compounds efficiently. So that's the definition of polyspecific. I mean, so polyspecific is suppose we have drugs, for example, we have got a series of aminoglycosides or cephalosporins, for example, a protein or a pump which can actually efficiently remove this kind of cephalosporins or protein, or rather aminoglycosides from system, are known as polyspecific. So, based on the sequence homology of protein source, energy source, substrate binding specificity, and other different kind of factors, drug efflux pumps can be of 7 types. 7 completely different types of drug efflux pumps, and they are named as follows. Number 1 is very simple ABC transporters or ATP binding cassettes. Number 2, we have got resistance, nodulation, division or the RND. Number 3, we have got the major facilitator superfamily of the MFS. Number 4, we have the multi-drug and toxic compound efflux or MATE or MATCE, whatever you might call. Number 5, we also have the small drug resistance or SMRs. We also have number 6, which is the which we call as PACE, PACE. The full form is very much long, proteobacterial antimicrobial compound efflux. Proteobacterial antimicrobial compound efflux. And number 7, we have got I like to call it as GATE, simple GATE, but in text you will find it is written as ABGT, or I call it in full form is para aminobenzoyl glutamate transporters. Okay, but today we'll be talking about the first of its kind, or rather the simplest of its kind and very much found in nature, the ABC transporters, or rather we should start with the ABC of the drug efflux pumps. So ABC transporters are largest superfamily of proteins known to be there in both eukaryote and prokaryote, and they help in different cellular processes involving import and export of amino acids, which are known as the intake kind of pumps. And also we help in effluxing of the drugs, and these kind of mechanisms not only you can find in bacteria, but they are also present in cancer cells, for your information. So how are these kind of transporters helping? So there are different substrate specificity for this kind of proteins actually. So let's start with the ABC and its basic concepts and everything. So in case of ABC transporters, we have got 2 domains. One is known as the transmembrane domain, and the transmembrane domain looks something like this. Just a representation, by the way. Okay, the transmembrane domain looks like this, and we have got 2 domains. Okay, so basically it's a dimer kind of protein. Okay, and over here we have got the lipid bilayers. Okay, just assume these are lipid bilayers. So now what happens is that in this kind of effluxing, first a specific drug molecule, for example, this drug molecule can be anything. It can be a rifampicin molecule, it can be a penicillin kind of thing, or it can be anything like aminoglycosides, streptomycin for example, or it can be cephalosporins. Okay, so this first drug needs to enter this part. Okay, and as it is entering, it cannot go up because this path is initially closed, right? This path over here is initially closed. So this drug first must enter this transport process, okay, or the system. After entering, what happens is that now we consider the things. So these are the transmembrane domains, the TMDs, and these over here are the nucleotide binding domains. As I am talking about ABC transporters, or the ATP binding cassette transporters, so the nucleotide that is going to bind over here is essentially ATP. Okay, so now as this drug is entering this part, so this drug, now let's consider that it has entered this part. Okay, it is inside over there. Now it needs to go out because the cell needs to expel this thing out, right? To expel this thing out, what it does is that the ATP hydrolysis will take place. Now let's see how it happens. Now what happens is that once the ATP is inside the system, the ATP will bind to this nucleotide binding domain, and as it binds to this nucleotide binding domain, there is a specific, see, there is an opening in the transmembrane domain. Okay, so how is this signal relayed from the nucleotide binding domain to the transmembrane domain? Okay, so in case of this NBD, or nucleotide binding domain, or the ATP binding domain, are highly conserved among the ABC superfamily. They have motifs like the Walker A motif, the Walker B motif. Also they have got motif C's specific to this kind of superfamily, but they also have got stacked loops of D, H and Q aromatic amino acids. Okay, so these aromatic amino acids are present essentially in these nooks, okay, such that whenever the ATP is binding to this, whenever the ATP is binding to this, the signal is relayed by this aromatic amino acids present over here to the transmembrane domain, and as it does, the domain opens, the transmembrane domain opens. So these part over here, these are the ATPs, bounded to the nucleotide binding domain. Okay, so ultimately the molecule that needs to be expelled out got expelled out into the extracellular matrix in case of cancer cells, and in other cells or in other cases it is expelled outside into the medium. Okay, and these molecules can be anything. For example, these molecules can be any kind of suppose say, not over here, these molecules can be some kind of signal molecules, it can be drugs, it can be even nutrients, or even in some cases different kind of toxins. Okay, so these needs to be removed, and this removal is done with the help of ABC transporters. So just recapitulating, the transmembrane domains are closed over here, nucleotide binding domains are free over here, ATP binds to it once the signal molecule reaches inside of this domain or the system. Once this signal molecule is inside the system, ATP binds to this nucleotide binding domain. The aromatic amino acids present in this nook relays the information of binding of ATP to the transmembrane domain. The energy is utilized in changing the conformation of transmembrane domain. The conformation is changed such that the closure over here is opened, and the drug or the signal molecule is expelled outside, and this is basically the essential crux of the ABC transporters. Okay, so now how do we notice this bacterial resistance by ABC transporters experimentally? Actually this one is applicable, that the thing I am going to say right now is applicable to Neisseria gonorrhoeae, N gonorrhoeae rather. Let's write it. Gonorrhoeae spellings are sometimes confusing for me. So the Neisseria gonorrhoeae strain number 8041, in those strains they were highly resistant to different kind of macrolides and other cephalosporins. Okay, macrolides like azithromycin for example, streptomycin, also you can call aminoglycosides, right? So they are basically resistant to this kind of antibiotics because of ABC superfamily of PUMS. Okay, and in Neisseria gonorrhoeae, it's the ABC transporter for the drugs in Neisseria gonorrhoeae is named as MAC-AB, MAC-AB. And if we just disrupt the genes which are responsible for forming these MACAB proteins, we find that since the resistance to this kind of amino acid antibiotics is rather decreased, okay, and they are now sensitive to this kind of antibiotics. Also, just for your knowledge, we can make some kind of artificial substrates like the ethidium or tetraphenyl phosphonium for the study of this kind of palms or their efficacy in synthetic cell membrane, okay, or specialized liposomes. So we may have this kind of liposomes, we have this kind of transporters over here. We can make the liposomes with the pre-packed cephalosporins or the tetraphenyl phosphonium, and we can observe that how efficiently this pump can actually expel this content out in the surrounding by measuring the concentration before the experiment and after the experiment, and thus identify and proving that this kind of pumps are helping in expelling out substances which are not required inside the cell, or rather the cell does not need it inside or prefer it inside because it's toxic to the cell. Okay, so it's a very short and informative video. If you like this about the ABC transporters and the general drug efflux pumps, I'm going to continue series with every drug efflux pumps like the RNDs, for example. I will continue with this. So if you like this video, then please subscribe to my channel. Please like, share and comment down in this video. If I have made any mistake somewhere, please help me rectify myself, and also rectify yourself rather, and also to gain more information. But please subscribe because that gives me motivation, right? So you need to subscribe to my channel, okay? If you are new to this channel, please subscribe to my channel. So Mobiolect is out. Stay tuned to us for other videos and updates about COVID-19 that I will be giving shortly. Thank you. Bye.